Hey, I'm Brett Stanford, I'm 28, I'm from Perth, Western Australia. I love playing golf, I love watching Arsenal play in the Premier League, and I love catching big fish because you like catching small ones.
I'm Derek Heron, I'm 28, and I live and breathe basketball. I just love the NBA, and if I could be any player, it'd be Russell Westbrook.
I'm Scott Gaunson, 24, from Perth as well. My favourite film by far is The Day After Tomorrow. It's an absolute ripper.
Okay, so most epic video, the Frisbee Catcher's got to be in there.
Oh, it's up there. It's number one.
It has never happened again like that.
For me, it's the combination of the speed, throw, and the way that the boat turns at that last moment. It makes me look like I jump even further from the boat.
Yeah, the fact that you jumped from the boat when you shouldn't have.
Yeah, that was also one of the things. The driver specifically said, "Do not jump off the boat."
Well, let's just bring it back. Let's bring it back for a moment. So, we had Brodie Smith. The plan was to do this collab sort of video, and I had organised this jet boat for us to film with.
Yeah, it's just for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the plan was to make a basketball shot, which I don't think anyone even knows about, really. And so we were just fanging it by in the boat, trying to make this basketball shot, and then we'd go back the other way, and Brodie would try and make a Frisbee shot, and then we just repeated that for like 2 hours. And
it was disastrous.
It was so
It proved
silly.
impossible on the day.
Yeah. So that was the plan, and then I remember the boat driver basically refilling because we'd used all the fuel of this jet boat, and he comes back and he's like doing this for free, and he's just like, guys, I could probably give you another half an hour or something, half an hour.
And that was fair enough.
And we're like, yeah, nah, fair enough, we've given you nothing so far. And I remember just saying to Brodie, all right, I've got a good idea. Go up on the bridge, throw the Frisbee, we'll start underneath you in the boat, and we'll just, like an ultimate Frisbee receiver, we'll just go long and we'll just try and catch it at pace.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those moments that was unexpected, but seriously one of the coolest things that we've done.
I just remember thinking, when you did leave, I actually remember thinking, he's not getting there, and why did he leave? And then when you did get there and take the catch, I instantly remember thinking, that is possibly one of the most insane things I've seen.
I remember just seeing it happen and think, that's just totally redeemed this whole day. And like you, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I think Brodie said that too.
That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. That was awesome.
It was just,
But it was
one of those moments that just had insane amounts of X factor, and every time you watch it you can't help but smile and think that was a great day. The Frisbee catch, definitely the most epic video we've ever made.
So another epic one, of course, is the slip and slide.
and slide alley-oop.
Just super cool. I mean,
What a day.
I remember heading down, absolutely getting destroyed with sand. There's just sand all over my face.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden I'm in the air, Brett's throwing the ball up, caught it, flicked it.
It was great because really this is one of the few trick shots we've made first go.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes this one particularly epic. I mean, it's unbelievable anyway. It's just a cool combination of fun, awesomeness, and trick shots. But I think getting it first go added so much.
Normally we try something for 30, 40 goes and maybe don't get it, but to actually hit it first go just blows you away. I'm gonna call this one probably quite a bit of luck.
Catches their brains at first go. How ridiculous.
it's funny how you remember different things. Like, I remember all that stuff, but I also remember like just buying 80 litres of like detergent that's
Going
like
to
biodegradable and like getting all the tarp and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then heading down to Moore River going, what on earth are we
Spending
doing?
2 hours with shovels
You
digging
know,
this thing
we
out.
got this pump thing that
Oh,
like
yeah, but
pumps, you know, the river water up to the top.
I mean, we put in probably 2 or 3 hours of just hard work
Before we even got the fun of going
before
down
we
the
even
thing.
got the fun, but then we obviously reaped the rewards. Everyone around got to have a go. Like, we had kids, like all our mates got to have a crack and just really enjoy the fun of it. And I think that was one of the really cool elements of this video. Was
Be able to get a lot of other people involved and have some fun, hang out, just get out there and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. It was just probably the most fun day that one of the most fun days we've had.
Yep.
And all that hard work was worth it.
What do they think was going to happen, honestly?
And we got to keep doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, you got to keep
that's
having
what it's all
fun,
about.
and that was a lot of fun.
Gordon Dam.
The world record shot.
Most viral video.
This one did go nuts, didn't it?
Yeah. What was it? 5 million views in a week or something?
Pretty quick, it jumped up straight. I mean, for good reason. I mean,
Yeah.
balls in the air for like 8 seconds.
I think the cool thing about this one particularly was that we had a dream for a long time to make a basketball shot from higher than 100 meters. And this was finally a moment when we had a chance to actually pull it off.
Yeah. And for me, like, I suppose on top of that was the way it happened. You know, like, we obviously got dealt with some fairly rough conditions. Like, it was raining heaps and it
A
was
lot colder than
freezing.
we anticipated.
I mean, look at our jackets. It was such a bad day, but here's the thing, you'd never know that from looking at the footage. I mean, we got blue skies, looks like there's hardly a cloud around.
Yeah, there's hardly any.
And that's
looks
just the
still.
worst illustration of like that day. Like, it was just so bad. And for me, the thing that stands out, obviously the shot was amazing, footage looks amazing, most viral for sure, but it was just the fact that we hit it in that hour window.
That small window that we had.
I think it was seriously about an hour where we had great conditions and we hit it in that.
You know, on YouTube, people see the world record shot, people see it go in, and they go, wow, that's cool, and maybe they applaud in their lounge rooms, I don't know what they do. But there is a lot that happens to make a shot like that happen. I mean, if we just list through the things that we had to consider, obviously we had to consider safety, we had to consider filming, making sure that we captured it from the right locations with the right cameras. We had to consider, what else?
We had an operator there for the
the cable guy to get the basketball down the bottom of the
The
dam.
surveyor to measure the height.
We had to try and get the basketballs up
And down. Yeah.
when we missed. We had like, how many basketballs?
We had like 70, I think.
We had an abseiling team. That
So they
came and
rigged up
assisted.
the pulley system, which then we were able to pull the balls to the top.
Then we just had general helpers as well down the bottom.
There was a little river runoff, so they had to have a kayak to get a couple of stray balls. There was just a lot that went into it.
Yeah.
I think the favourite bit for me is definitely the celebration. I love those when we're all at the top together and you can just grab each other and just go nuts and yell and
Looked stupid for about 5 seconds.
But it's just that
But it's worth
it's that release of energy when like you finally accomplished what you set out to do. You know,
Yeah.
It's a great moment.
I think this video was viral for a few reasons. Obviously, the size, the fact that it was a world record. I think the way it was filmed was really good.
Yep.
But I also think the location. Like, I remember when we first saw Gordon Dam on Google. It just looks spectacular. You know, it's just this massive arch dam in the middle of the valley.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah, in the middle of the wilderness in Tasmania. And I think all those things combined, everyone just loved. And then you add into it our celebration, and we obviously don't take ourselves too seriously. We just celebrate as if we've won, you know, like the Super Bowl, but we've just hit one shot off a dam, and it was just epic.
Yeah.
And how about the curl? I think when I first saw the footage back, that's what grabbed me the most. Is that it looks like it's
Really comes hard
missing,
to the left.
and then at the very end, it just sort of goes.
Which made people think that it was fake.
Yeah.
That they had some sort of homing device in the ball, you know, but we don't have any of that. It's
CGU.
just a normal basketball.
Yeah. CGU.
CGI.
Oh,
CGI.
CGI. Gosh, shows how much we don't know
Yeah,
about
we don't
it.
even know what it's called. I think the scale of it, obviously it was unprecedented, over 100 meters. You know, what more can you say? What a moment. And that's what we're all about, creating moments like that.
Look, if we think of our most challenging bit, the one that we put a lot of hours into, each shot was hard, was the darts bit.
Undoubtedly.
It required a lot of hours just hitting that tiny little bullseye, but everything was worth it. Just ended up so good, this bit.
I really enjoyed the challenge of this video. I really enjoyed it a lot. Like, and particularly the pool stuff was so good. I mean, it was hot, which was nice. But I mean, it was just a cool concept. I don't know, we hadn't seen a lot of dart stuff like this before.
I think that was the big reason is we'd looked around the internet and
find any.
No one had tried to really push the limits with bullseyes. Like everyone had just sort of done the standard couple of meter throw. And we thought, you know, everyone loves a bullseye, whether it's darts, archery, whatever. Surely we could make the best bullseyes video ever.
Yeah.
And then we got out trying. We thought, okay, we know now why no one's done it before.
It was tough.
It's so hard.
And we had this rule of thumb, didn't we, that if we were trying a shot and we couldn't hit the board regularly,
Almost on every throw.
like maybe say 8 or 7 times out of 10, we weren't going to do it.
Yeah, it
Because
was silly.
It's too hard.
Because hitting the board is not enough. And then hitting the inner circle is not enough. You've got to hit a pebble, you know, in the middle. I look at all the elements that were in it, you know, it was just so impressive. You know, the ricochet, as you say, the boosted board.
The
we've
throwing
got
it in the air.
The underwater shot.
underwater, we've got cars, you
Through
know,
the leg,
off the roof,
round the
through
back.
the
Did a bit of
legs.
everything.
Like, I mean, goodness, we really put in for that video. Like,
We got creative with the idea.
Probably a couple, I mean, on average, an hour or so a shot. Maybe.
Yeah,
at
on
best.
average. Yeah.
yeah.
Some took a lot longer.
I'd love to do another one. Like, just watching it back now, it's just, you can't help but just think,
It was
man,
great
so
fun.
cool.
That's what I'm talking about!
Just trick shots are made for darts, you know? Just that, it's just so accurate. Such an incredible moment where you get in there and you see that it's hit the ball and then you just go
That's
nuts.
the thing, half the time you don't even know until like the person that's by the board gets in there and clarifies. Like, it's just such a small target.
Nah, most challenging video by far, but when we watch it back, one of our most enjoyable. Another really challenging video.
The underwater hole in one.
So this is our holiday location. We love golf. And I think you just put the 2 and 2 together. We're like, hang on, we're holidaying on the beach. We love golf. How about we just put a bucket at the bottom of the ocean, and then all of a sudden you're at Bunnings getting the PVC and the, you know, you're making the flag. You know what I mean? And I think that's the cool part of it. But certainly like an epic shot and super unique. Like, I hadn't seen anything like it.
No, and I think once again, this got a lot of attention, particularly in golf media, because of its uniqueness. You know, it was just unseen before. People had never put underwater and hole in one in the same sentence.
No.
And yet we created that sentence and that happened.
Yeah.
And then I mean, you were lucky when it went in because it hit this spot where the bucket was actually missing its lip.
Yeah.
And it's just gone through that gap.
This is true.
I mean, I remember challenges aplenty with this video.
The challenges of treading water for about 3
Yeah,
hours.
so the
exhausting.
filming was probably
Oh
the
my
hardest part.
goodness, I was about to chuck in the towel at the end. Just before you go, I was like, guys, I'm either going to drown here or like something bad's going to happen.
So I remember having the thought of, we want to film it and we want to be able to prove that it's real. So we need GoPros underwater to actually follow it down as it sinks, and it'll be like this suspenseful, epic moment where it just sort of drops in and then the cameraman will go nuts. But I didn't really think of how much effort it would take because we couldn't stand.
It was that deep.
And then that was the other thing. So anything that was close, you know, not only are you treading water, but you're also duck diving.
Diving.
And then you're like pressurized and like, you know, it's just so much to it.
Let
And,
alone
like,
having to dive afterwards to retrieve all the balls. And
yeah.
Well, yeah,
It was
because
hard work.
we didn't want the golf balls to be in frame. So we'd hit, 5 or 10, and then the
I think we had
people
about
who were
12.
filming had to dive down, pick them up, come back up to the surface and chuck them back to the person who was hitting, and we'd just go again.
Yeah.
So we worked pretty hard for that. And let's not forget the difficulty, because when you hit the golf ball and it hits the water, it hits and it sort of goes in random directions.
Yeah.
I remember hitting one and it landing right near the pole, and it would be sinking down, and I'd be thinking that's a good chance, and then I'm waiting and waiting, and then the filmers would just come up above the water and just shake their head.
The old head shake. I remember one in particular, you just like, you got this look on your face, it's just
Yeah.
And then when it finally happened, you guys come up and it's like, "Ah!" You were yelling before
The
you got to the
bubbles,
surface.
the bubbles coming up.
That's good.
Really
And
cool.
I'm like, well, it must have gone in, yeah.
The unluckiest shot.
we actually had the green ball called the Celtics.
It was a Boston Celtics branded ball, and none of us are Celtics fans, so we randomly added it to the pile, and it somehow ends up as one of our most unluckiest bloopers. And that's the thing with trick shots. When you try hard stuff, you get a lot of heartbreak and you get a lot of bloopers. And I think this was just looked online, threw it down,
Oh, it was the perfect throw.
and it's hit backboard, gone into the ring. I think I booted a backpack. So it went in, and then it got caught in the net, and it threw it out.
I'm down the bottom, like, it went in, but it came back out again.
Of all the shots for that to happen, I'm glad it happened on that day and not somewhere far higher.
Well, that probably did better than the actual shot.
It did.
It's got
a lot.
200,000 views.
The actual shot's got like 50.
Oh man. Anyway,
That was
I'm sorry for the backpack bootage. Now this fail blooper was a bit more recent.
Yeah.
It's
bit
good to
more
be sitting here,
life-threatening
really. Yeah.
I mean-
we're just glad that you made it.
I'm glad I made it too. I mean, we thought let's drive a golf ball next. But unfortunately, you kind of hit it just perfectly right in the middle of the handle, and it actually got a fair bit of purchase off it, and then unfortunately it was coming in my direction. I want to say I dodged it, but probably the golf ball.
It looks like you dodged it.
But we put it in slow-mo, like we frame by frame, and the ball's actually passed before you do it.
I'm gonna still say though that my reactions were still fairly impressive.
Oh, it was quick.
Like, you know, some people might, you know, just not have even seen it.
Righto.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we did very well to not have anything bad happen.
Yeah. Learning lesson. But we'll probably still do something stupid.
Probably.
In the future, I'm sure, but.
Bye bye. Sayonara. Bon voyage.